I'm boarding a steam-powered train for one of the world's most unforgettable rides through the rolling hills of the Scottish Highlands. Scotland's landscapes speak volumes. Tinged with sadness, they remember battles for freedom, bravery, fierce loyalty, and terrible defeats. Magical, ancient, supernaturally beautiful, the glens and lochs are fertile ground for fairies and mythical monsters. Scotland feels like home, a Jungian ancestral land that transcends nationality. It's a place that works its way forever into the soul and the psyche. In the words of Robert Burns, Scotland's beloved poet, "My heart's in the Highlands, wherever I go." Castles, lochs, bonny green glens, and one of the most magical capital cities in the world. This is Scotland. The Highlands occupy a mountainous region in northwest Scotland. Along the west coast lies the rugged beauty of the Isle of Skye. To the east, the capital, Edinburgh. The best way to see the broad glens of the Scottish Highlands is aboard the Jacobite steam train. Into the Highlands, the train chugs, into a land of lochs and heather-covered moors, of treeless green expanse dotted with sheep, tiny villages, and coastal splendor. So magical is this little train, it was cast as the Hogwarts Express in the Harry Potter films. The Jacobites, for whom the train is named, were rebels who sought to return the Catholic Stuart dynasty of kings to power in England and Scotland. The Highlands, this great wild area of Scotland, has only 8 inhabitants per square kilometer. In the years following the defeat of the Jacobites, Highlanders were driven from their homes by wealthy landowners who started sheep farms. During what was called the Highland clearances, many of the displaced were shipped off to Canada and America. Rivalry among Highland clans is legendary, and Highland games sprang out of local competitions to see which clan could outbrawn or outdance the other. Every summer, towns all over Scotland host Highland games, and the competitors come from all over the world. Even the dogs are competing, showing off their herding skills with a gaggle of harried geese. I suspect the dogs enjoying this a whole lot more than the geese. Can you play a little something for us on the bagpipe?
Yeah.
All right.
Any requests? Yeah, favorite song?
No. I want you to play your favorite song. Now, what I want to know is which one of you guys is stronger?
They're near the same, probably.
Yeah. You're about the same? That's a very diplomatic answer. Well, I gather that some people go around on a circuit doing this all the time. Do you have a couple competitors here today or from other places?
Well, there's boys from America, boys from Czechoslovakia. They come from everywhere to compete.
Is there any money in winning?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of money.
A lot of money in winning.
Big money?
Yeah.
There's some very young Highland dancers here today. When do young girls start dancing?
Oh, 3.
At 3.
Quite a few start at 3, but you can't compete until you're 4.
Well, do they learn in school? Do they go to private schools? Do they learn at home?
It's usually dance schools.
And how much pressure is on these competitors here today?
Well, this is quite relaxing here. It's not a championship. It's just a wee fun day out.
A wee fun day out?
A wee fun day out, and I hope they all enjoy it.
The games at Aberfeldy have a special tradition. The goal is simple: lift and carry a huge old stone from nearby Menzie Castle. The stone weighs more than 250 pounds, and the tale goes that the stone was used by Clan Menzies to select their chief's bodyguard. Getting the thing off the ground at all is heroic. Rolling it up your belly is superhuman, and walking with it, well, that's just plain nuts. The Highland Games, like so much in Scotland, have one foot in the 21st century, the other in the 12th. Glencoe is a long, deep glacial valley in the heart of the Highlands. On a fine day, Glencoe enchants like no place on earth. But on a stormy day under fierce clouds, the ghosts of the murdered MacDonalds haunt this melancholy landscape. In 1691, the King of England demanded oaths of loyalty from the Highland chiefs. The MacDonald clan was late in responding to the decree, so the king sent a regiment, headed by a Campbell, to massacre the MacDonalds. For many locals, the memory of the massacre is very much alive today, and there's no love lost between the MacDonalds and the Campbells. The Western Highlands are notorious as one of the wettest parts of Europe. But people here just carry on, playing golf, tending sheep, taking a wee walk. The carpeted, velvety highlands beg to be explored by foot. The threat of rain is omnipresent, but the rewards for a wee walk in any weather are great. You can't very well visit Scotland and not try the national dish haggis. This age-old meal is often served with a modern flair.
From near this area.
I know it is.
Yeah.
Lovely. Lovely.
Thanks, Chef. I enjoyed it.
Well, this is lovely. Bon appetit.
Well, we would say in Scotland, Rudy, get stuck in, you're at your aunties.
Get stuck in, you're at your auntie's?
Aye.
Bon appetit, in other words. Like you're at your auntie's house.
Aye.
Okay, what am I eating here? What's haggis made of?
Well, you're eating Scotland's national dish. Haggis is made from liver, lungs, lights, oatmeal, preserve, and it's cooked and boiled in a sheep's stomach.
What are the liver and lungs from?
Sheep.
Sheep, okay,
Aye.
and cooked in a sheep's stomach. Well, I love what it's accompanied with, a single malt scotch. None of this wimpy wine stuff.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Slunge.
Slunge.
Get it down you, it'll do you good.
Get it down you, it'll do you good. I got a lot to learn.
Oh, just a wee bit.
All over the Highlands, dramatic castles evoke the era of Jacobite wars and fiercely loyal clans. Ellendonan Castle, set on a promontory, is one of Scotland's most famous and most photographed. Alex, what is the history of this castle? When was it first built?
The original castle was built in the 13th century. and built very much on the site of early structures that stood here since the Iron Age. The castle itself, as we see today, is largely a restoration. It was restored by the McRae family. They've been constables of the castle since the early 16th century.
Has this ever been used as a movie set?
Every year we make a movie here, practically. It's a very, very popular movie venue. The exterior, especially so. We did 2 movies alone last year, Maid of Honour, Elizabeth the Golden Age. It's a very popular movie venue, and most people will remember it from Highlander, or maybe even James Bond.
Which James Bond movie?
The James Bond movie was called The World Is Not Enough, with Pierce Brosnan, 1999. However, my favourite is much further back in time with my hero, Errol Flynn. And Errol Flynn made a movie here in the early 50s, The Master of Ballantrae.
You have a lot of McRae's stopping in?
Oh, absolutely. This is the home of the Clan McRae. And we come from all over the world. In fact, Mrs. McRae hosts the international clan gatherings in the banquet hall, which you'll see upstairs.
Got a dungeon?
No, with the McRae's traditionally didn't keep prisoners. They like to throw them into the water and bet on how long they took to drown.
From Ellendonan, it's a wee ferry ride to the Isle of Skye. Bonnie Prince Charles, a steward and hero of the Jacobites, fled to Skye after his loss at the Battle of Culloden in 1746. People still sing a song about his flight to the Isle.
Speed, bonny boat, like a bird on the wing, onward the sailors cry. Carry the lad that's born to be king, over the sea to Skye.
The island's name comes from the Norse, meaning Isle of Clouds, and aptly named it is for the dramatic clouds, the absolute purity of the light, and the ever-changing skyscape. From its soaring peaks and mountain ranges, seaside cliffs, giant sculptured rocks, and rolling moors, the Isle of Skye is a geological wonder and a place of otherworldly beauty. On Skye, life is lived as it's always been lived. Shepherds and their dogs drive flocks in waves across the green hills. Little pastel fishing villages hug the coast. Heather-covered fields ripple in the sea breeze, and lighthouses warn of rocky shores. Skye is stormy, wild, grand, and utterly seductive. In Skye, you're never more than 5 miles from the coast. Eerie basalt columns spring from the earth, the result of volcanic upheavals. Sailors approaching Skye use the rock formation called the Old Man of Storr as a landmark. I'm looking for a souvenir to take home from Skye, something that captures the sea air, the peat, the rushing rivers. At Talisker, they've managed to put the Isle of Skye in a glass. Now, is it like wine where you first check the color and the nose before tasting?
Absolutely. By looking at it, it can tell us lots of different things. Looking at it can tell us the type of cask maturation that we're using because of the colours. So with this one, we've got a lovely light golden colour. So we're looking at bourbon cask maturation, American oak. Also, by looking at it and, you know, swirling it around in the glass and then watching what we call the legs, which in wine would be called the tears.
Of the glass, right.
And it's going to start to tell us how it's going to feel inside the mouth, what sort of finish we're going to have on the whiskey before we start. And then, of course, it's into the aroma.
Peat.
Absolutely.
So the color comes from the wood cask.
Absolutely. Different types of casks will give a different sort of richness of colour. During the time of maturation, there's obviously a lot of interaction happening with the wood. And also, because there's obviously a lot of high alcohols there, a lot of it's going to evaporate out. Now, we lose 2% of each of our casks' volume.
That has a name.
Yeah, absolutely. We call it the angel share. Year upon year, we lose this 2%.
The angel share is the alcohol that evaporates while it's aging in the cask.
Absolutely. We like to believe, you know, the angels above Talisker are obviously getting a good dram during the time their whiskey's maturing here, so we've all got a safe place up there afterwards.
Cheers.
Cheers. Slange.
Slange. Single malt whiskeys were for the longest time the only whiskeys made. Then in the 19th century, a smoother but more bland drink was made by blending whiskeys. The bottling of single malts all but stopped. But in the 1960s, the robust, unique personality of single malts was rediscovered, and today sales are through the roof.
I think I've been sorted out.
One recent sale of a bottle of rare single malt went for $75,000 on auction. The train's a convenient way to get from city to city within the UK. You can have breakfast in London and lunch in Edinburgh, or you can take a sleeper car and travel the entire length of the country. Edinburgh, nicknamed Old Reeky or Old Smoky for all the coal fires that once spewed forth from dark chimneys. Edinburgh remains a dusky city, one moment shining, the other glowering. From its great castle brooding on a volcanic outcropping over the town, to the modern architectural hodgepodge of the Parliament building, Edinburgh's past and present stand side by side. It's a dark beauty of a city with weathered old stone churches and shadowy, narrow alleys called closes. Edinburgh is a ridiculously romantic city with its craggy castle, its nooks and crannies, and its stormy skies. 300 years ago, Scotland reluctantly formed a union with England to end centuries of bitter wars. Many remember it as though it were yesterday. In 1999, Scotland secured the right to control its own parliament and pass laws on matters such as education and health care, but England still controls foreign relations and defense. The ancient sprawling complex of Edinburgh Castle winds up to panoramic views of the city. In 1561, the beautiful Queen, Mary Queen of Scots, cousin to Elizabeth I, arrived in Scotland from France to take power. She was a Catholic ruling a Protestant country. Murder, betrayal, rebellions, and ill-fated love affairs peppered her short reign. At the age of 24, she was forced to abdicate and exiled to England, where she was later beheaded. At 1 o'clock every day except Sunday, a cannon fires atop the castle. The practice began in 1861 so that sailing ships could set their clocks accurately. Edinburgh's mood changes as often as the weather. In August, the streets fill with performing artists gathered for the world's largest celebration of the arts. It's called the Edinburgh Festival.
Come see Apocalypse the Musical! Tonight, see Spot!
The streets are filled with music. I caught a foot-tapping performance by local band Jacob's Pillow. All day long, performers are out on the streets trying to entice people to their evening shows.
This is the way I work, unfortunately. People just like to make fun of me. I don't know why.
Everything from edgy theater to classical opera is on offer. It's a modern-day medieval street fair, colorful, imaginative, and bizarre. The Royal Mile is the main street through Edinburgh's Old Town, and during the festival, it's the single most exciting avenue in the world. as the Scots would say when they're exhausted, I'm Guy Wabbit, and it's time I was away in my pet. If I dream of headlines and printing presses, that's because the Scotsman Hotel is housed in the former baronial quarters of a newspaper called The Scotsman. It's located in the heart of Edinburgh near the Royal Mile. The Scotsman's 1905 building exudes prosperity with its mahogany wood paneling, marble, and stained glass. The paper is still in print, and diners can peruse it in the hotel's cathedral-like bistro. The Edinburgh Festival culminates at night at the castle with the most spectacular event of all, the military tattoo. The musicians in these bands are all servicemen and women, and for them, combat must take priority over piping and drumming. Most have attended the prestigious Army School of Piping. The term tattoo comes from the Dutch cry to close the taps in bars in the Low Countries. A military fife and drum corps traditionally accompanied soldiers home at closing time. Over the years, more than 12 million people have attended the tattoo, with an annual attendance of around 200,000. Not a single performance of the tattoo has ever been canceled. Monsters in the locks, fairies in the moors, angels taking their share of the whiskey. In magical Scotland, anything is possible. In mists and fog, it's a mournful, haunting land. In brilliant sun, it blinds with its beauty. My heart's home, Queen Victoria called Scotland after she bought Balmoral Castle. Indeed, for anybody, it would be easy to toss it all and make this wild and enchanting country home for good. There's a bonny sight wherever you're gone in this land. Reporting from Scotland, I'm Rudy Maxa. See you later. A trip to Queen Elizabeth's former yacht is an Edinburgh excursion worth making. The Royal Yacht Britannia has helped to make the Queen the most traveled monarch the world's ever known. Here, leaders from all over the globe were entertained just as they would be at a royal palace on British soil. In 1997, the ship was retired after 44 years of service and opened to the public. Taking the streets by storm every August is Scotland's Edinburgh International Festival and a cluster of spin-off festivals such as the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. According to the organizers, the event was founded in 1947 and grew out of the rubble of the Second World War with the aim of providing, quote, a platform for the flowering of the human spirit, unquote. And flower it does in every way imaginable, from opera to outrageous street theater. Here's my advice. Book early, stay in the heart of town, and make the most of the non-stop entertainment.
Yeah.